Wow, look at all that bus bar. There is loads of it on this one. I wish there was a bunch of these there last time. Look at all that copper, dude. Well, hello everybody. This is Merchant Metals. It is Wednesday right now. I want to start the day, or start this episode, with doing a detailed breakdown on a couple of controller boxes that we have over here. They're the two biggest ones that we have. I'd like to break them down, get into them, see what we got. I think that's a pretty solid game plan for this video. I have some good news that I will be revealing probably later on in the video, toward the end of this video. But let's get those controller boxes up on this bench. These two boxes, they're different in ways. This is the lighter one of them, of both of them. So that one has an aluminum case on it. This is the heavier one. I figured I'd get these out of the way. That'd be nice. Oh! Oh! Heavy. I gotta fix that. That's broken. That's been broken. Alright. I like to kind of look at what I'm working with and what kind of bits I'll be using. So we'll start off with two different sizes of star bits for this. Yeah. But we'll start by tearing this one down. This one, the majority of this one here has Phillips heads. Even on the sides it does. It looks like it's all Phillips heads, so that'll be nice. If they both had like the same exact bits, I guess you could say, I would definitely just do them both at once, but save the time and having to flip-flop back and forth in between bit styles, this is what we're doing. This one first. I pulled out a board. Nice looking board. Okay. Let's flip it to this bottom side. I think that's free. It was free. Tin shred. Let's do the bottom side. Only a few screws takes the sides off. That's actually not bad. Sometimes these controller boxes, they can be very much a pain in the butt to take apart. But that was nice. Those came off like a couple of side covers. Let's look at this side here. We have a Phillips bit and then some star bits right in here to take that board off there. And yeah, looks like we'll probably need an extension on the end of there. So that's what we'll do, get a longer extension on there. Grab us a Phillips bit, so that's ready. Yeah. Okay. Let's take that board off of there. I got a transformer right there. Okay. Pull this transformer off. Oof. That's free. Okay. Couple of screws down there. Anything that I can reach from this perspective with the same bit. That's what we're looking for. Get all those screws out. Okay. Let's grab that Phillips bit. There's another board, probably a low-grade board, if you're asking me. Looks like that cover right there is free now. Okay, this is everything I can get from that side, looks like. Okay, that's the fan. There's a motor in there, a little fan motor that runs right there. Well, let's flip it to this side here, see if there's anything else we can get apart. Take that fan motor out, it looks like. Oh, we also have some other bits on this end. We can take the side cover off right here. There goes that motor. You can pull that piece of tin shred off of there. Motor of that size, I'm not even going to bother to really process that at all. It's just going to go the way it is to the scrapyard. Oh. We got a motor. Okay. I don't really see anything else on this end that needs to come apart. Or on this end either. So let's go back to that star bit. Pull these off. I'm going to zip those wires off right here. That's going to go right in the breakers. Okay. Looks like that might be free. Let's cut that ribbon wire. Oh, we got one screw holding that little guy. We'll get that little guy right there. Star bit. They made a pre-hole right here on the side so you can reach in there and grab it. Get that freed up out of there. Boom. Okay. We're gonna try to snip that ribbon wire up out of there. Oh. There. Had to get the connector end piece out. Now we got it. Light wire. Tin shred. Okay. So this should be almost free, this bit right here. Looks like we need to get this riser off of there. What kind of bit's that gonna take? And do we have it? No, not on that. How about this one? That'll work. It's not the right size, it's a little loose, but probably should still drive it through there. Yep, that's tin shred. Oh, got a couple more bits right, or a couple more screws there and there, and we should be able to get the whole thing loose. That's what it looks like anyway. You getting out? You gonna come out of there? Or what? Something's still holding it. Pull it off. Something's still clearly holding it, I think. That screw? Did I get that one? Ah, I see it. Oh, alright, enough wiggling. I found it. Now we're free. We can check to see if that's copper bus bar or not. It's not. That's just basically, I would say, aluminum breakage, really. Part. Get the wires out. Okay. Clip here. That's some good thick copper cable. Snip the ends off and granulate it or strip it, one or the other. We're almost done. We almost got this one emptied out. And honestly, I've seen no significant source of copper besides the cables we just pulled out. Sometimes they're like that. This one's almost free. We got one screw right here holding it. Maybe. We got another screw somewhere. Something's holding it. A couple down there. Will that help you? Stuck. I don't know why. Ah, I think I see some copper bus bar underneath this. Now are we good? Oh yeah, we're good. Just a little piece of copper right there on that. I guess we could take a hatchet to that and just get that off of there and then just throw the rest of that into a low grade, mid grade board scenario. And that's all we got is that little piece of copper right of that. That's fine though. This is just a board now at that point. To me, anyways. You can scrap that out further if you wanted to, but if I got it scrapped down to a point where I can throw it in one of my specific categories here, that's as far as I'm taking it. So I can move on and keep going, keep moving. I'm zipping off power modules right now down in here. Usually screw on each corner on those. Tap them out of there. These ones I think will these will bust open easy, so I'll be able to get copper out of this for sure. And they had a good weight to them. Here's another one, another power module. An example of one that I probably wouldn't mess with. It's too small. I just throw right in copper breakage. It can go there. Got some more wires. Looks like it's just zip tied there. And we almost got this thing done. Believe it or not. There ain't nothing left to dismantle, basically. Besides maybe that right there with the wires connected to it. Yep. All right. This is one big old clean piece of cast aluminum now. Yeah, with a mud dauber nest. I'll sell it with the dauber nest on it. But that's a heavy chunk of cast aluminum right there. Easily 30 pounds of cast. That's nice. We're gonna set that over here. Yeah. Alright, let's do this controller box. This one's probably twice as heavy, for sure. Which tells me that there's probably maybe some better non-ferrous metals in there besides aluminum. We'll see though. We'll see what happens. But we need a Phillips bit. We don't really need the extension all that much. We'll just go with this one. Boom. And we're gonna zip all these Phillips bits off now and open up all the side covers. Oh, that one did not go. It's pretty common for sometimes these screws to be stripping on these controller boxes. I've had that happen to me more than once. They give you the option of putting a hex head on there. If I got the right one. Handy dandy. That one. Yeah. Got it. Piece of tin shred. That's a massive aluminum heat sink right there. That thing is huge. Tin shred. Yeah, that's a big heat sink. That's gonna be some good weight. If I can get that cleaned up, I can put that in my 6061 bag. Oh, I see copper bus bar inside that vent hole. That's a really good sign. And I see copper bus bar on this end too. So there could be a lot more value in this one opposed to that first one we did. Let's get all the Phillips bits. You're loud. Okay, that side's cleared out. Okay, let's do the front. Yeah, once we get in there, we can see what we got. But from what I've seen so far, it does look good. I see copper bus bar and lots of it. That's a good sign. Let's get all these pieces off the sides now, or all these screws. Off this side, same thing. A lot of screws on this one. That screw didn't go. That one did. What's holding you? Okay, let's start taking the top side apart now. Oh, whoa. That was in there. I'm assuming it's to keep humidity out of the box. It's one of those dry pack things. That's just garbage, but it's awesome that it's all Phillips bits. I mean, a lot of the times these controller boxes make you use 7, 8, sometimes even 9 different bits. And that's just the way they are sometimes. This one's very nice. Very convenient to work on. Okay, move this stuff. Wow, look at all that bus bar. There is loads of it on this one. I wish there was a bunch of these there last time. Look at all that copper, dude. And there's even layers below it and more layers below it. We're gonna get some good weight out of this one for sure. Okay, plastic, got a nice little board right there. Let's take the grinder to these wires. Sometimes I think the grinder is the easiest way to go when it comes to clipping stuff. But really, do whatever floats your boat. Another little board. Some random wires again. Single layer. Breakage. Okay. This is basically free. Got some screws we can pull though. Clean the board up. And we're going to reveal all the copper underneath it probably. Because it looks good from this side all the way to that side. I could say that right now. It's a lot of copper in there. You know, it looks like a lot. I'm gonna pry that out of there. Or not. I see where the other screw is now. Another board. Piece of plastic. Piece of tin shred. Holy smokes though, look at all that. That's like all copper in there, you know? That is beautiful. And we're getting ready to start pulling all that stuff up out of there now. Yeah, see, this is a good example of when you get a controller box and there's good non-ferrous metal in there, like how I was explaining how heavy it was compared to the other one. I think that's the reason why right there, pretty much. If that's good for me, I'm happy with that. I was reading a comment this morning, or not quite this morning, but earlier today, and it was asking me why I don't clear out, or they're asking why don't I stop going out dumpster diving until I get the full yard cleaned up. Well, here's an example that would help answer that question. Is there's nights out there where you don't want to miss out on opportunities like this. Basically, even though I'm overwhelmed back here with scrap metal, it's still the fact that there could be a time where I could miss out on some really good money. And honestly, those are the times that make dumpster diving worth it, is when you find a good score, a good jackpot. You know, that's what keeps the bills paid and all that. And really, I would hate to jeopardize that by simply because I feel overwhelmed about the amount of scrap that's here right now. We are slowly working on improving though. We got this whole area cleaned up, and I started on the roller buggy already. I got into the first layer of stuff, and if we have time today after unloading the car from the stuff that we got yesterday, we'll start getting into that buggy. But let's get into this bus bar and get some copper out now. But I just don't want to miss out on any really good opportunities for scrap metal. That's the main reason why I still go out, even though I'm overwhelmed here, pretty much. And I know that's not a very healthy way to think about it, but that's the reality of it. You have to be out there consistently, kind of like how I upload my videos consistently, daily. You know, I want to be trekking out in the concrete jungle at least twice a week. Or you could be missing out on these opportunities, which really help financially to keep everything going. Some good news that I have, that I said I was going to say toward the end of this video, is that I got accepted into the YouTube bootcamp program for creators. And I'm really happy that it actually happened again, because this happened a while back while I was traveling to Florida, and I agreed to their terms and they accepted me into the program, and then I didn't follow up with it. I didn't have the bandwidth, internet strength, or time while I was traveling to continue being into the YouTube bootcamp program. And I'm just really happy that they're giving me a second chance. They must see some kind of potential there. So I'm upholding that offer right now. They have my word. I'm going to attend to every single class that they have for me. And this is a it's a 3-month boot camp program, and I don't know how many classes that includes, but I'm pretty sure it's a lot. But they're going to give me all the helpful inside information that I need to be more successful as a YouTube creator. And kind of just like going out dumpster diving consistently, and not, you know, forfeiting the chance of giving up on a good opportunity like this. It's kind of the same way with that boot camp program. I don't want to ruin the opportunity. I don't want to waste the opportunity to improve my life and my lifestyle. I don't want to mess that up. So, as good as that important news is that it's going to affect my uploading schedule. There's probably going to be shorter videos out there because certain days I'm going to be busy with the programs that I signed up for. Wow, beautiful bus bar. Look at that. This stuff's falling. It's falling right off the bone like a roast beef now. That's beautiful. We got more screws down here to do though. We're gonna get a pile of copper out of this thing. I don't exactly remember when I got these, but I'm glad I went out and got them. That's got to get cleaned up a little bit. There's a little schmutz right there. Oh yeah, that's going to clean right up. This stuff's going to go right in as #1 copper. If I take that piece off like that, that's a nice #1 piece. Let's pile that up right here, and we'll see how much we get at the end. Beautiful. This is good stuff. Oh hey, these have Phillips bits on the one end right there. I can just drive them off. There. I didn't notice that. These little things, these little plastic things. Might be able to smack them off with a hammer. We'll clean that up soon. I want to keep getting copper out of here. And cleaning them up as we go. That's nice stuff. Okay, we got another one screw right there. That'll get that piece free. Nice #1 chunk. Beautiful. Sweet. That wiring harness came off pretty easily. Just cut that right out of there now. Plastic. Man, that's a lot of copper coming out of here. That's awesome. I love that. Like, look at these big old copper pieces connecting the capacitors together too. Just layer after layer after layer. I love it. Look at that. That's all nice clean copper. Oh, I got a couple of pieces right here I need to punch out, there and there, but for the most part that's clean. Pull that clean right now. Little screw. Okay, we got to punch something out there. That one's got to get worked on. But I love these controller boxes when you open up and you find out that everything that's connected to it is made out of copper. Like, look at that. That's nice. Look at that. Got a screw right there. Okay, you can pull that apart. That's number 2 copper. It's like a little bus fuse on there. And then we got a bunch more power modules. We just basically took apart all the small ones right here. These have some surprising good weight to them. If they crack open easy, we could get the copper out of there. Let's put them with that pile. Yeah. Pulling the power modules off right now. But in order for me to get this video out and make that possible, I have to get in there right after we finish this, edit and upload it with very little editing. So it's going to be more of a raw, detailed teardown and explaining what's going on with the YouTube channel and some of the classes that I'm going to be attending and stuff. I'm excited to find out what all that's about. On top of it being Wednesday, we're going to the concrete jungle tonight. So we're going to finish this teardown and then throw everything up on the bench that's in the car right now. Power modules are free, and these are nice heavy ones too. So we'll get into those possibly and see what we can pull. Some good weight out of those usually. Okay, we got some screws holding the capacitors in. We got to pull those capacitors. I think we do. They're not really connected to the heatsink in any way, but they are reseated into this piece of cast aluminum, I think. When we get to that point, we'll review it and look at it, but we're going to work on getting this transformer off this piece, and we're going to remove the heatsink. There's a massive heatsink on this thing. Oop, that's free. That's a transformer. Okay, let's pull this bad boy off of there. There. That's going in as breakers. We're looking good. For real. That's cast aluminum. There's the fans. That's cast aluminum on those fans. Looks like I missed a screw right here. Maybe that'll pop everything apart. Or not. I think that's glued on there. Okay, we can process these real quick too. But I think we got it to the point where we can get the heat sink up out of there. We want the heat sink up out of there. Wave our little magnet wand, get all those thousands of screws out of there. Most of them. It's a lot of screws, man. I don't know what's holding the heat sink in at this point. I think it's siliconed in, man. Oh wait, no, we still got screws holding it. Alright, we're good. Get those up out of there. I just couldn't see them all due to all the screws all laying up in there. There's more. I think we got it. 2 more screws right here. It wants to. Yeah, it's siliconed in on this side over here. We're gonna have to like use the hatchet and leverage our way out. Something. Oh yeah, I think we got it. Awesome. Hey, sweet. And that's clean too. All but some silicone on this end. We'll take this copper and just scrape that off there. All right, that should be clean 6061. My yard calls this sheet plate clip. Yeah, that's a nice chunk too. But let's clean up our tin shred and look at all our copper. I kind of think you guys can tell that it was definitely worth tearing this one down, right? If I had piles of them, I'd do these over and over. Probably get really fast at it in the process too. That's easily 7-8 pounds right there. And then we still got that whole pile right there we got to clean up a little bit. I can cut them out. And then they pop out that way. That works good. Can pop this apart. Sweet. Wow. Isn't that just an awesome pile of copper? We still got some of these to clean up though. But, however, that was our detailed teardown of those two controller boxes. I thought that was an interesting enough video to show you guys the differences between different styles of controller boxes. Showing you that there's some pretty good value in some of these. And then some of them not so much. Some of them you're only getting aluminum and then some wire and maybe a couple of good power modules, but that's it. But for the most part, look at all this awesome copper we just pulled out of this one. And I'm thinking that was worth sharing. Beautiful. We got one more right here. Yeah, these are difficult to punch out. That pops them right out of there. I'm not crunching the steel rivet that's in there. I'm just cutting the copper around it with the shear, and that pops it out pretty easy. See that? That's all clean copper. We got some awesome aluminum out of it. We got some copper containing goods we will be tearing down in the future. But for the most part, it's a very nice pile of copper we have right here, coming from that one unit. My guess is it feels like almost 20 pounds of copper right there. It's about as heavy as my dog, it feels like. Yeah, that's not bad. But number one copper she goes. And we're gonna move on. I ain't gonna lie, some of that fell into the number 2 basket. We'll go after it. A couple pieces went in. There, I think we got it. Yep, we got it. So that is that. I hope everybody enjoyed this teardown. And today is Wednesday, so we're going to the concrete jungle. I got to start preparing for that. We're going to clean off this workbench. We're going to throw up everything from the back of the car onto this bench right now. Bunch more screws. All right, let's get our scraps up on the table. Good bag of wire for right now. I hardly looked in this bag, but it was heavy, so I'm hoping all of it's good wire content. Sheet aluminum. Oof. Oh man, that's a mess. But however, we got a lot of tin coated Romex wire in here. Yeah, that's what was making it so heavy. I'm gonna try to make the less mess as possible here. What the? tin shred on that. Okay, at least most of the mess is inside of this bag. Yeah, that's a good solid bit of wire right there. Yeah, that's all copper. Mostly. That's all copper, that's all copper. There's a couple pieces of aluminum in the mix, but that's a good little baggie for sure. Okay, let's dump this out, and then we got to go finish our, or we got to go edit and upload this video. Yeah. Bunch of good scraps right there to deal with. That's a piece of tin shred. And we got pop cans.